So last we left off, the captain had to decide where were they going to land. Were they going to land on the planet Varmuk with the big green swirling mass, or were they going to land on one of the nearby moons, one of two moons, and send the landing party off to check out the planet? They had to land quickly because the two asteroids on the other side of the planet had collided, and there'd be debris coming very soon. Well, as we found out, Captain Ramos Santiago decided we need to land on one of those moons and play it safe, and then we'll send a landing party. So that's what they did. So Betty at the controls navigated the ship onto that moon, and she did it so well that not a single hair was moved from anyone's head, and she landed it safely on the moon. Now, they waited about 30 minutes for all the debris from the asteroids to fly by, and once it was all cleared, the captain said, "Okay, let's take the landing party over there." So he said, "I want 4 people. I want my XO second in command. I want Charlie. I want Link. And I want Betty. I want you to pilot that bad boy." So they all 4 got in the small ship and went on into the landing party ship and took off for the planet. Now at the speed they were going, it was only about a 10-minute ride, and they were supposed to land about 200 meters away from the big green mass, which was going in an easterly direction, so they were supposed to land on the west side of it, so they would be going away from them. Now, one might think that's really close, but with Betty's navigational skills, she could land close to that big green mass and give a great report to the captain back on the main ship. So, right as the landing party got in and they're making their way down, the winds started to swirl. They saw the green mass and they wondered, what could it be? And as they got closer and closer, and Betty was ready to land the ship, then we find out what happened to Ellen. As you may recall, Ellen chose to be a deep sea diver looking for lost buried treasure instead of be part of that traveling navigational that traveling petting zoo, aquatic petting zoo. Well, it just so happens that last time we left, now Ellen is deep sea diving in Lake Michigan. That's right, her first deep sea dive. She was commissioned to look for the USS Navigation. Now one might think, the USS Navigation? How could something like that end up at the bottom of a lake? Well, similar to the Titanic, they thought back in the 1600s that this ship could be navigated anywhere and no person could crash it. Well, this USS Navigation unfortunately did end up on the bottom of the lake. Now, there were not many casualties. Most people survived, but the ship itself went down to the bottom. And Ellen, her first job was to try to find out what she could about this sunken ship. So down she went, and she was looking around and scoping the bottom of the lake with no avail. Couldn't find the ship. But about 30 minutes later, right as she had about 10 minutes of air left in her gas tanks, she found the ship, and she reported back up to the boat above that she'd found the USS Navigation. Well, she only had a few minutes left of air, and so she went quickly and made her first trial run through part of the bowels of the ship. And right as she realized she'd have to ascend quickly to the surface as she was running out of air, she saw 2 things. She saw a treasure chest behind a door that she was very, very interested in. But she also saw a trapped octopus in the very next room. She only had enough time to go into one door and either explore that treasure chest or try to save that octopus that was locked in that room. The question is, what would she do? Would she save that octopus? Or would she look for that treasure chest and try to see what's in it before she had to go back to the surface? You decide. What is Ellen going to do?